Luckily for Bitcoiners, what we saw yesterday was that China news, which was very, very good for risk on assets, and Bitcoin pushed back above. We're seeing continuation today, at least for now.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, let's talk about Bitcoin and more.
Bring up the 10-year yield right here. And what we could see is that it had been rallying since the Fed cut rates. Now, a lot of people are perplexed by this. Why did the 10-year rally when the Fed cut rates? And the answer is pretty simple. It's because by cutting 50 basis points, the future economy, the economy that's not now, but the future economy, investors and economists were saying, wow, well, 50 basis point cut, that means the future economy will actually be stronger. Therefore, interest rates, which are priced out. When you're looking at the 10-year yield, remember, it's not really where the Fed funds rate is. It's where future interest rates are, meaning so 12 months out. So because the Fed's so aggressive, it's saying that, hey, these aggressive measures will help the economy stay stronger, therefore yields in the future go up. However, when you see inflation dropping like it is, that means yields will eventually go lower. And I do still think the economy is going to start to weaken more and more. Now, looking at this chart here, I have this beautiful target for where I expect the 10-year yield to bottom out over the next 12 months, maybe even sooner. But you can see you had a wedge pattern. It broke out, or broke down, I should say. Consolidation, eventually this is where we're headed. Notice you have this trend line and this trend line converging at around 3.2%. Remember, when you have multiple trend lines that converge, the level will be more important. If you just have one trend line, okay, that's good. Probably puts odds in your favor decently, but really two trend lines converging or a Fibonacci in that range, all of those things combine to make the level even more important. Okay, so just always remember that factor. Now let's go to Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin closed back above the daily 200 moving average yesterday. Impressive move yesterday. If we put up our 200 moving average, you can see how price kept on hammering into it right here. We closed above it. I think that was on Tuesday. And then we closed below it on Wednesday, and we talked about how that wasn't a good sign because the bulls didn't take the bull by the horn and really rip it up. But then luckily for Bitcoiners, what we saw yesterday was that China news, which was very, very good for risk on assets, and Bitcoin pushed back above. We're seeing continuation today, at least for now, which again starts to favor a move up to this 68,000 level. Now, again, 68,000 should be pretty big resistance, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits of the trend line. So again, you should expect a hit of that, a pullback, and then maybe a breakout as long as this pivot line holds and price doesn't get below it. So I'll update you guys throughout the course of the day. And obviously for members in the crypto service, my Smart Money Crypto, will go over these charts later today on the cryptocurrency.
BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, made a massive Bitcoin purchase of $388.19 million this week. The hedge fund now holds 362,193 BTC, worth $23.79 billion, outpacing competitors like Grayscale. According to Arkham Intelligence, BlackRock's Bitcoin purchases for its IBIT Spot ETF in the last 4 days totaled $388.19 million, exceeding the total sales of any ETF issuer over the past 3 weeks. With 362,193 BTC in its portfolio, BlackRock leads the cryptocurrency ETF market, holding over 100,000 more BTC than Grayscale, its closest competitor. BlackRock's head of digital assets emphasized that the fund sees Bitcoin as a decentralized, non-sovereign asset, positioning it more like digital gold rather than a tech stock. BlackRock's interest extends beyond Bitcoin, as the firm recently launched a spot Ethereum ETF, slowly building its Ethereum portfolio despite less hype than Bitcoin. BlackRock's aggressive Bitcoin purchases signal growing institutional interest in cryptocurrency as a safe, decentralized asset, further legitimizing its place in global finance.
Looking at gold real quick, let's see what gold's doing today. Gold is actually flat to negative. So notice how the dollar was declining, but gold as of now is not shooting higher. Now, normally when the dollar declines, gold does go higher. It's not happening yet today. Part of that is this mega trend line here on the logarithmic scale. If we go to our monthly chart, if we zoom out, this is the chart trend line that's keeping gold stagnant here. Now, listen, if the dollar keeps declining, eventually gold will break above it. But I'm in the camp, at least, that I think we will see a pullback in gold still off of this level back to 2,500. And then the next leg up starts to 3,000. All right. And again, that trend line, this is a pretty big trend line. It goes back to 1980. So it makes sense that it would have some teeth here. It's only the third hit. Third hits are very rare to break out on. Usually you'll get a pullback or a pause for a little while, and then that break to the upside. All right, let's flip over to silver here, guys. Let's flip back to our regular time frame so we can go back into the chart here. Silver did put in a little bit of a reversal yesterday. Nice pullback there. Today it is inching up a little bit. I'm in the camp silver's going to roll over, hit here, multiple trend line supports, and then the big move, the next big move to the upside comes. Now, if we confirm above this level, then it's game on regardless. Like, you're not going to get the pullback. So the charts will tell me, but right now I respect resistance, and a retrace to the scene of the crime breakout, which is this trend line here, would be the most common, basically the highest probability scenario. All right. Now, oil continues to be something that is somewhat of an issue for the markets, at least in the economy, for global demand. Why isn't oil going up? Yeah, you could say, okay, OPEC's going to add supply to the market. You could say this. But all in all, even if they added 100,000 or 200,000 barrels, if China's really going to start to ramp up and the U.S. has no chance of recession, oil should be like at $75, $80 a barrel at minimum. And it's not. It's at $67 a barrel. So I continue to look at this as being kind of that yellow or red flag that's telling me, hey, let's see where things are. Something seems amiss here. Let's watch and see where things ultimately iron themselves out. So keep an eye on that chart. Now, natural gas today, let's take a look at nat gas. Nat gas is pushing back up. Can it get to this trend line right here? Again, came close, pulled back. Now it's pushing up. This, again, is major resistance around 295. That'll be where I add to my shorts on natural gas and look for that bigger pullback there. All right, guys. Again, Costco's kind of the one that had earnings this morning. Overall, we're not seeing huge moves. I'm looking at the technology stocks. They are starting to catch a decent little bid here pre-market. I'm noticing NVIDIA is now back to the flat line after being weak on the charts. And again, if we just look at a few of these other ones, we can see Meta's now pushing up a little bit here pre-market as the markets are seeming to get a little bit of a juicy move here going into the open with risk on back on the table. So let's watch that key level on the S&P today, the SPY. Do we close above? If we do, then I got to think we have a good chance of seeing that 6,000 level.
U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF registered total net inflows of $494.27 million on September 27, marking a 6-day streak of positive flows. ARK and 21 shares led with $203.07 million, followed by Fidelity and BlackRock, pushing cumulative net assets held by Bitcoin spot ETF to $61.21 billion. Spot Bitcoin ETF saw $494.27 million, extending a positive streak that began on September 19. This brings cumulative total net inflows for Bitcoin ETF to $18.69 billion. RKK led the inflows with $203.07 million, followed by Fidelity's FBT with $123.61 million and BlackRock's IBIT with $110.82 million. RKB's cumulative net inflows have now reached $2.72 billion. None of the Bitcoin ETF experienced outflows, and only 4 had no inflows, signaling continued investor confidence. With a total of $61.21 billion in net assets, Bitcoin spot ETF now account for 4.71% of Bitcoin's market cap, reflecting their growing significance in the market. As Bitcoin spot ETF continue to attract inflows, investor interest remains high, driven by favorable market conditions and growing institutional participation. NBA legend Scottie Pippen tweeted that he had a dream where Bitcoin's creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, predicted a bull run starting Monday. Pippin humorously shared the message, but his post is fueled speculation, especially after the recent release of Binance founder CZ. With CZ's release in October, historically being a bullish month for crypto, many in the community are eagerly watching to see if a Bitcoin bull run is indeed on the horizon. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.